All right, guys, that was really good in the group stages. A little bit iffy in the Charity Cup, but honestly, I think the social media day might have had an impact on that. Well done, by the way, because he didn't get the takeover, so that was top work from you guys about that. Claps all round. Auckland City in the quarterfinals, obviously a bit sooner than we were expecting to play them, but I did tell you that short preseason wasn't too helpful. They lost to Tafia, so just don't lose to them. It'll be embarrassing. That's really embarrassing losing to Tafia. So just beat them. We'll move our way forward and just win this with ease. Really, that sound good, guys? Come on, beating City. Got to beat them. I mean Tafia. That's got to be awful this year.
Party in the streets and the city's on fire.
Hello everyone and welcome to episode number 87 of the New Zealand Builder Nation here on Shaun Does FM with both the All Whites and with Cashmere Technical. And coming up today, it's a massive quarter-final in the 2033 OFC Champions League. We take on Auckland City. It could almost be called an early final, so if you're looking forward to that coming up in today's episode, then do remember to go down below, leave a thumbs up on the video, and if you haven't done so already and are enjoying the series here on the channel, also consider hitting that subscribe button and turning that notification bell on as well. It is greatly appreciated. Yesterday, we made our way through the group stage of the Champions League, also ran through the transfers that we made, despite the fact we were under a transfer embargo, because a takeover was and has now taken place here at Cashmere Technical. So if you missed that one, I'll leave a link to it over in the top right corner. A few things to cover off before we get stuck into this two-league quarterfinal. And to be fair, haven't done too much in between now and then because the season is starting on the 6th of April when we take on the Dunedin City Royals in the Southern League. First up, All Whites move very quickly, played 2 more World Cup qualifiers, and we are already through to the final. As you can see there, top right corner, we picked up very convincing wins, 5-0 over Papua New Guinea, George McDonald with all 5 goals, and then 9-0 over Fiji, even better than our previous win over them late last year. McDonald, he picked up 4, Kelly with a double, and also goals there to Stamanic Bell and Justin Keats. What does mean our last game all the way in June against Papua New Guinea, absolutely nothing riding on it. We're already through to that World Cup qualifying final. If we win that, we are off to the big dance as expected. Quick look at what's going on in Group A. Looks like we might be taking on Vanuatu, albeit New Caledonia do have a game in hand on them, and both those teams below Vanuatu could still go above them, depending on the results of the last couple of matches in that group. So Group A still open, but looking pretty good for qualifying for the 2034 World Cup, where hopefully we can do something similar last time and make our way through to the quarterfinals, or at least the round of 16. But we're going to switch now to Cashmere Technical mode because we've got this big quarterfinal coming up against Auckland City. The reason we're playing them in the quarterfinals, they only finished second in their group because I think they struggled with the short preseason, seeing as finally we got drawn in Group C or D. They did lose to Tafia in their last game of their group, which we ran through yesterday. So if you're wondering why we're not looking at their profile, that's the reason why. We have played them since then, though, in the Charity Cup. Very scratchy performance, but thankfully came away somehow with a 3-2 win. Grabbed goals with 15 minutes left there through both Nathan Walker and Leon Sutton. Right off the back of that, though, a quick fire double to Stipe Ukic, and also they missed a penalty as well in the first half through Ronaldo Loza. But thankfully, Mansour Dossau scored a third goal in 3 minutes, but thankfully it was for us, and that was the winning goal. But as you can see, stats-wise, Auckland City actually quite similar to us. Obviously, the XG did get pumped up quite a bit from that penalty, which they did miss, but thankfully we pick up a win and grab the Charity Cup at the RTA. So our first trophy here this season, hopefully can beat these guys over 2 legs like you'd imagine we should, and that should take us a very long way towards picking up this OFC Champions League here yet again, albeit we are going to have to do so for this first league anyway with a pretty tired bench because unfortunately our B team, they played the day before. I didn't realise that. So a couple of players aren't at too good a fitness level. The likes of Tristan Turner, Almad Al-Khatani, our backup right back, and a few others who have actually dropped out of the squad in terms of Sadio Diabate, Ahmed Shusha, and Hotman de Villiers. Hopefully our first teamers can get the job done because they're certainly in good condition going into this game. But a bit of a balls up from me there. Hopefully that doesn't prove too costly in this first league. And this first league as well is the home league. So really important that we pick up a decent result here before going up to the RTA. As you can see, those players who got injured during the course of yesterday's episode, thankfully they are all back. The only issue we have is a fresh injury, and that is to Marcus Vinicius, and he is out currently, if we check on that, with a twisted knee which was picked up in a B team game. That was the one yesterday. He's out for 2 to 6 days, so it does mean that we're a little bit weaker in defensive midfield, but not too much extended squad. We should be fine. Can always move like some McGoldrick forward if we need to take off Louis Evans because he's picking up too many yellow cards. But hopefully that B team game that some of our bench players took part in hopefully won't prove too costly. The first teamers, they can get the job done and give us a good advantage going to the second leg up at the RTA. And here are the team sheets for the first leg of this OFC Champions League semi-final in 2033. We've gone with our best 11, as I said before. Some of those bench players not in too good a condition, but hopefully won't have to use those guys. They're at Auckland City. They're also going with the 4-2-3-1. Hopefully at the GMP can pick up a nice, comfy win. And it hasn't taken long at all here for the first highlight of this game. If we're onto Auckland City here at the 32nd mark, Lorenzo will take that down the right-hand side. Thankfully gets it back. A poor pass, and Mina can win that one back for us. He was our player of the season by far last time around. Let's see if that continues into 2033. It's a poor start though for Auckland City. Our former captain Jamie Fletcher brings down Lorenzo Janssen. We get a very early chance here from the penalty spot. These days, it's our new striker Juan Carlos Castro who will be taking these. He sends Cox the wrong way. You never want to see Cox go the wrong way. And that makes it 1-0 very early on here at the GMP. Castro, very good finishing. His penalty taking not too bad. Goes straight down the middle and gives us a nice early 1-goal advantage. And in fact, very short off the back of that opening goal, again, a highlight starting here with a throw-in to Auckland City. And again, Auckland City do lose out on the ball. Some good hustle from us here early to get on the front foot. Castro makes his way forward. Good tackle there from Fortes. Falls rather kindly though to Lorenzo Janssen. Squeeze it nicely for Juan Carlos Castro. A quick fire double, 2 goals in 4 minutes. And we might be on fire here. Auckland City look like they might be in a world of trouble early stages in this Champions League quarter-final. Hopefully going to send them out of the competition nice and early, because the other way around would not be very good for my job security. But Castro is taking us a long way to making sure that's not an issue. 2-0 up after 5 minutes. And we just made our way to the last 5 minutes of this first half. Things certainly cooled down off the back of that hot start that we did make. Have been on the front foot. Dosso has picked up a yellow card, as has Sam Clark, and also Kevin Mina with an orange injury. There might be a few changes coming up at half-time, but the ball finds its way forward to Ukic from that free kick. Thought we'd have marked there from a tight angle with a body in the way, but Hawkins can't save that one, and the defender can't block it. I think that would have been McGoldrick on our left-hand side. It's a bit of a soft goal to concede right before half-time. Auckland City might have found a way back into this one. Indeed, it's McGoldrick. Somehow that one gets past Hawkins and just inside of that left-hand upright. And Auckland City only 2-1 down. They'll probably be quite happy with that, considering up until that highlight, they hadn't done too much in that first half. Obviously helped out early with the penalty, and right off the back of that Castro goal for us. But unfortunately, Ukic makes it 2-1 right before half-time now. Dusso, of course, is on a yellow card. Al Katani, one of those players who has been affected by the B team game. So Hughes will coming up right back. Tristan Turner for Sam Clark. That should be okay. And left wing, no Shusha, so Nathan Walker or Kevin Mina. Hopefully that injury not too bad, and he'll be available for the second leg. But a couple of changes there hopefully won't be too bad with the B team nonsense that went on with the game that they played yesterday. We go into the second half, only 2-1 in front. And just past the hour mark, first highlight here of the second half. Another free kick here to Auckland City. Slaughtermaker will put that one far post for Genie, but thankfully that one beats Hawkins and also the post. And we're still 2-1 in front. And this is a bit concerning because with about 15 minutes to go in this game, Tristan Turner, who came on at half-time, the B team game over affected him. He's already down to a red hut because they're going to pull back Lorenzo Janssen to a deep-lying playmaker, and Jamie Young can come on. That'll be our second to last sub. We've certainly seen the impacts there of that B team game with our bench players, but thankfully we're still 2-1 in front. And very short off the back of that substitution, now it's a free kick here to Mikado in a very good spot here. Going to try and put that one top right corner, but thankfully just goes over the bar, much like that Genie header from the previous free kick, albeit off the back of that, another free kick here to Auckland City, who it's fair to say so far, all the action in the second half has been in their favour that time. They sprayed out right to Chavez, and Genie will head that one into the ground. Armando Genie, it's been really poor from us since that 5-minute mark, and we've blown a 2-0 lead at home. Hopefully that won't prove too costly. Xavier Smith, he's gone down to a red heart. Leon Sutton can come on with our final substitution. Also, might chuck Tarik onto attack, go a bit wider. Also, distribute quickly. And to the fullbacks, we'll just see if that might get us back on the front foot a bit more. There's a 2-2 draw. Auckland City are probably quite happy with that going into their second leg, which is at home. But that, another soft goal to concede. No one marking Genie there at that near post. 2-2 with only 10 minutes left in the first leg. And just make our way into the last couple of minutes of this game. We'll see how much injury time there is. 5 minutes. Auckland City actually have really evened up the stats in this game during the second half. As you can tell by that match story, we haven't done too much. And a poor second half proves costly. 2-2 there at the GMP. You'd almost say because of that, advantage Auckland City going to the second leg, which is a bit concerning. We're struggling against the team that couldn't even beat Tawhia, but that certainly sets things up evenly for that second leg, which will be coming up shortly. Before then, going to take on the Dunedin City Royals in our Southern League opener, and also Auckland City, bit of a game to kick off their campaign in the Northern League, so maybe there could be injuries from those games. Probably going to put out a heavily rotated team for us for that game, especially seeing as this one is now quite evenly poised. Going to be 2-2 going in to the second leg. And we are back about to play Auckland City in the second leg of that Champions League quarterfinal. But before then, start off the Southern League with an absolute pumping of the Dunedin City Royals. As you can see on screen, 11-2, 6-1 in the first half, 5-1 in the second half. That, I think, is our most impressive win in the Southern League to date here. In this save, it reflects something that we were doing a couple of years ago in the group stages of the OFC Champions League, and hopefully gives us a lot of confidence going to the second leg up in Auckland. As you can see, we did put out a number of rotation players, apart from Dosso, who's actually suspended for the second leg because of the yellow card he picked up in that first one, and also Lorenzo Janssen and McGoldrick. They came off at halftime. A couple of first teamers got 45 minutes, but really all the first teamers in terms of outfield players were given a good rest in that game, and we still pumped the Dunedin City Royals, who might be in a bit of trouble in the Southern League this season. So a really good start there to our Southern League campaign. Just show off all the goal scorers because there were plenty. And in terms of the Northern League, Auckland City, they started off things with a 5-2 win over East Coast Bay. So both teams with some good wins. I'd argue ours was probably a little bit better. Just looking at the team they put out, also looks like they did a fair bit of rotation. Some of their first teamers played 45 minutes, but not too many no sign of players like Stipe Ukic. No doubt both teams coming to this one with pretty close to their first choice 11. As I said, Dossel out with suspension, and I think that's the only worry we do have. Indeed, that's the case. Marcus Vinicius back from that injury he picked up in the B team game, and Kevin Mina, he has recovered just in time for the second leg. Our only injury currently is that big one picked up by Henrik Vlies, out for 7 to 10 months. So our young left winger is out for pretty much the whole season here at Kashmir Tech, so don't need to worry about him for quite a while. But thankfully, everyone else in good condition going into the second leg, where hopefully we can pick up a win away from home. Otherwise, going to be knocked out a lot earlier than I was hoping for in this year's Champions League. And here are the team sheets for the second league. First up, Auckland City, they're again going with a 4-2-3-1. Interesting to see that Fletcher goes from the left-hand side at DM to the right-hand side. Last year, he was playing right back, so it looks like he gets shuffled around quite a bit. Just one change for us, Al-Qatani at right back, but otherwise, same team that picked up the draw in the home league. But hopefully this time, we're a bit better, and we can pick up a win to make our way through to the semis. And just past the half-hour mark for the first highlight of the second league, early stages, we were definitely a team on the front foot, but recently Auckland City have been evening out the stats. But a nice ball over the top there, and Castro can make his way in behind, scored both goals, of course, in that first league. But unfortunately, a bit of a loose touch there, and Cox can pump that one deep, looking for the big unit. And Ukic, and good ticket there from Araya to win that ball back for City, albeit poor pass off the back of that, and Xavier Smith can get us on the front foot. Now, Mina, orange injury again, so we might have to take him off shortly, which is not ideal. But Al-Qatani squares that one. 4-1 Carlos Castro. That's his hat-trick over both legs. Not a proper hat-trick, but Al-Qatani comes up with an early assist from the first highlight. Off the back of that, might play things safe. Ahmed Shusha, fit for the second league. All the B team players this time, we pulled them out of that team prior to this game, and it looks like that might be important because Shusha will come on here for Kevin Mina, who maybe we shouldn't have started in this game, having just come back from an injury, but that is a good start. We make it 1-0, just past the half-hour mark there, albeit right off the back of that, there is a highlight here potentially in favour of the home team, so they're going to try and make their way here out from the back. They played it 1-4 to Stipe Ukic, and our former captain in Jamie Fletcher goes out there to the Mohawk, and Rico Bowman out right for Auckland City, floats that one far post, no doubt looking for someone like Ukic and makes it a good header away, and plays that one out to Castro, who seems to be doing all the damage for us so far in this tight. Al-Qatani plays that one for Dinar. Let's see what he can do. It back pass. It's a terrible one though, and Loza can get Auckland City going here on the counter-attack, makes his way down that left-hand side, tries to put that one into the mixer, no doubt for Ukic, but thankfully we clear it away. Now it's a chance for us here on the counter-attack, and can get in behind almost one-on-one with Cox, but it's a very average save. Too placid with his hands that from Cox in goal for Auckland City, and despite the fact he gave the ball away quite poorly before, in that highlight, will score the goal, and a buffer goal inside the space of a few minutes here in the second league to make it 4-2 on aggregate. Cox really needs to be more hard, more erect, and he should be saving that one, but unfortunately for Auckland City, that's not the case. A big goal for us there as we make it 2-0 in the second league. We'll see what else happens before halftime. A throw in our favour. We take it short, but unfortunately going to lose out on it. Now Chavez gets a chance to get Auckland City on the front foot. Ukic with a long-range effort, and that forces a good save there out of Josh Hawkins. Firmer hands from our man and Cox down the other end to keep it at 2-0. We'll see what happens off the subsequent corner. Genie gets a hit on the end of that one, and Hawkins again with a really good save. So we're already seeing a bit of a difference here between the performances of the two goalkeepers. Might be a difference maker. Another corner to Auckland City. Thankfully, we do head that one away. Just got a bit frightened there because it looked like the game paused briefly, and sometimes that does mean it could lead to a penalty, albeit this highlight is going to continue. Hawkins will punt this one deep. Can't quite find someone, but eventually we do off the headed clearance from Auckland City. Down our left-hand side here, the ball goes back out to Xavier Smith. We start to make our way back inside of the Auckland City half. McGoldrick back out there to Smith, and no doubt this will go back to McGoldrick. Long highlight here. Let's see if it amounts to anything. Back to Evans, and now Katani gets to find himself inside the box. Takes on a shot there from a tight angle. A good save that time from Cox, unlike before. And we're going to get a chance here from set piece right before halftime. One more goal might just put this tie to bed. So hopefully we can do that right before halftime. Unfortunately, that's not the case, albeit we do get one more highlighter thrown inside of the final third. But again, a poor back pass that from albeit they nearly leave the ball behind the Auckland City. Then they try and pump it deep, but we win it in the air through Tio Demiro. And now is back on the ball, tries to play it one to the mixer, but Slaughtermaker with a good block, but then good work from Xavier Smith coming across to interrupt things, and we are back on the ball. Evans should find here Al-Qatani in space down the right-hand side. He does now. Hopefully this time can find a teammate. Juan Carlos Castro. Editing Shaun might have to zoom in on that one. I think he's done a bit of tricky work there to get that one into the back of the net, and that makes it 3-0. We've certainly turned up for this away leg. 3-goal advantage. Surely that should be enough to knock Auckland City out here of the Champions League. That is a very cheeky finish, I think, that from Juan Carlos Castro. He picks up his fourth goal in this tie, and that makes it 5-2 on aggregate. Actually quite an even game stats-wise, but thankfully a couple more shots on target, and we've got a 3-goal lead. Everyone out there doing a decent job as well, so I don't think any changes are needed. This time around, we'll get the second half underway with a 3-goal lead. Albeit very early stages of the second half, an early corner here to Auckland City. They put that one into the mixture, and this time it is a handball. It's a penalty given away by Al-Qatani. He'll pick up a yellow card. Play quite well in the first half, but maybe now it's a good time to take him off for someone like Diabate. Rosa will take the penalty, but Josh Hawkins comes up with a big save, goes the right way, and holds on to it. So I think because of that, we can definitely take off Al-Qatani still with a 3-goal lead for Diabate. Off the back of that, though, Auckland City do another highlight, but that is a big save from Hawkins. We got a penalty in the first leg, put it away. Auckland City, chance to get back in that game. They cannot do it. decent save there from Hawkins. We'll see off the back of this sub if this highlight will continue. It doesn't. Still 3 goals in front. And just make our way into the last 20 minutes of this game, not many highlights off the back of that big penalty save from Josh Hawkins early in this half. But now I think it's a good time for us here to use our last couple of substitutions. We'll take off some players here who are on yellow cards coming into the second league. So Kanate can come on for Ollie McGoldrick. Also Xavier Smith was on a yellow card. Leon Sutton will come on for him. And with our last sub, I think we'll give some game time to Marcus Vinicius coming back from injury for Louis Evans. We should, though, be pretty safe here. 15 minutes left and 3 goals in front. And we're just made our way into the last 5 minutes of the second leg. The second half hasn't been up to too much at all, as I said before, off the back of that penalty which Josh Hawkins did save. Stats-wise, that game actually was quite heavily in favour of Auckland City, but thankfully we do pick up the one. I suppose the XG did get bumped up a bit by the penalty, which was saved, but still, they had more shots and more shots on target, but thankfully we're a lot more clinical in front of goal. A 3-0 win away, just to break the hearts there of the Auckland City faithful at their home ground, and that makes sure that we should be red hot favourites now for this Champions League. We've knocked out our biggest contenders in the quarterfinals. So it was a bit scratchy in the first league, but a lot more comprehensive in the second league, even though stats-wise Auckland City can probably feel a little bit hard done by, but we are going through to the semis of the OFC Champions League in 2033, and really, we should make easy work of that come the early stages of next week before we head off to the FIFA Club World Cup, which does start in and around June. And we're going to start things off with a rematch from the group stage. We take on the Black Sheep of Bar, because they made their way past. We'll just double check who they were playing again in the quarterfinals. It was Real Kakamora from the Solomon Islands. They beat them 6-3 on aggregate off the back of a 4-2 win in the second league. Also going through Tafia, as you'd expect, considering they beat Auckland City in the group stage, and it looks like Kossa should make their way past ABM Galaxy, even though the second leg of that one is still yet to be played. But you'd imagine that was our big tie in the Champions League this season. We've got through it, and really now it should just be our trophy for the taking. Yet again, also Kevin Mina injured, but thankfully, because we played things safe yet again, he's not out for too long, but maybe give him a bit of a rest and have him come off the bench the next couple of games just to make sure he doesn't continue to get injured, because of course he was quite big for us last season. But that will do it for today's episode. We knock out Auckland City from the OFC Champions League. If you enjoyed it, then do remember to go down below, leave a thumbs up on the video, and if you haven't done so already and are enjoying the series here on the channel, also consider hitting that subscribe button and turning that notification bell on as well. We'll come back start of next week, make our way through the semi-finals of this OFC Champions League, albeit that could be a bit easy for us. We beat Bar in the group stages 8-1, so we might only need to show you guys the first leg of this one, albeit that's away from home. Could be time for a bus trip in Fiji. I'll just see who we're playing in and around that semi-final. Christchurch United in the Southern League, probably not a bad option for a different game to show you if we beat Bar too badly in that first league. So I think might be Bar and Christchurch United potentially coming up at the start of next week. So until then, thank you very much for watching. Keep on keeping on, and I'll see you then. Cheers.